Hi everyone, we're going to talk about how to hit a golf ball solid, specifically the lead shoulder. I'm going to talk about what tour players do and what most amateurs do and how we can get that more in line with each other. And I'm going to give you two great drills that are going to help you improve the movement of your lead shoulder to help you hit the golf ball more solid. Now, I've really enjoyed bringing you this free content, and I want to continue to do that. And please help us by supporting us. And the way you can do that is like our videos, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and what this does is it'll notify you when I release a new video, and then comment. Okay, so we're going to talk about the lead shoulder and what happens to the lead shoulder during a golf swing. But before we dive into it, I want to explain to you what the lead shoulder is. The lead shoulder would be the shoulder closest to the target. So for a left-handed player like myself, it's going to be my right shoulder. And for a right-handed player, it's going to be your left shoulder. Now, in this day and age, we're in a scientific age, we can measure everything. And we use motion capture systems. There's AMM, there's gears, there's a bunch of them out there. And what it helps us to do is put markers on the body, and we can drill down and see exactly what great players are doing with different parts of their body during a golf swing and what the everyday player is doing. And we notice something with the lead shoulder with tour players versus amateurs. And what that is we notice that tour players in the backswing, they tend to get their shoulder lower than amateurs do, which is kind of interesting. And I'll show you that from down the line too. This would be a face-on angle that I just showed you. Now from down the line. So again, we see tour players get that lead shoulder just a little lower. Now this is where it gets interesting. So the tour player gets that lead shoulder lower at the top of the backswing than the everyday player does. But then on the downswing, what we see is they actually get it even lower. So let's drill down, and before I do that, let's talk about what the amateurs do. So what we see every day with amateurs is they don't get their lead shoulder as low in the backswing to start, and then from the top of the backswing back to impact, they actually, doesn't get lower, it actually comes up, the lead shoulder. And that's why we start to see issues with compression. Compression is just hitting down on the golf ball, taking a divot. Some people say pinching it against the ground. It's not really what happens, but that could be a sensation that maybe you feel. And I want to do this one more time. I want to do it from down the line. So again, tour players get that lead shoulder low, and then on the downswing it gets even lower. Your everyday club player or amateur doesn't get the lead shoulder as low, and then on the downswing it actually gets higher. So let's look at mechanically, why does this happen? Like, what will help me to lower my lead shoulder? And it's very simply this lead knee and my hip, or my pelvis as sometimes it's referred to. So for me to get that lead shoulder lower, or like tour players do, they bend that lead knee more, and you can see as I'm bending my front knee, my pelvis is dropping. And I've shot videos about how to use your lower body for power, and you can see that, and that'll be very helpful with this discussion that we're having. So there's one other thing that really ties into how low somebody can get on their backswing and then therefore on their downswing. And I want to jump into that very quickly, and that's posture. And we'll revisit this in a little bit, but I want to touch on it while we're here. So most amateurs, probably the most common fault that I see of people who come to my golf school as it pertains to posture is when they get in their posture, they just sit. And in golf, what we want to do is we want to bend from our hips forward. And I have 3 checkpoints that I look for. And when we watch golf on TV, whether it's the LPGA or PGA Tour or Korn Ferry Tour, we can see that they're pretty athletic and they have pretty darn good postures. So from that posture, they're able to get this lead shoulder lower, where if I was more in a sitting position and I go ahead and I rotate my shoulders, you can see they're turning very flat. They're not turning at an angle. I'm not pointing my stick down to the golf ball when I'm in poor posture. So let's go over those 3 checkpoints really quickly that I look for with students as it pertains to posture. So when you're in a good golf posture, what we should see is we should see your hands underneath your shoulders. We should see adequate spacing between your hands and your body. So I don't want your hands way out here. I don't want them in between your legs. And then the last one is I'm looking for the ball of the hip joint to be right over the middle of your foot, which you can see I have here. So from that posture, it gives me the opportunity to get that lead shoulder lower, which then gives me the opportunity to get it even lower in the downswing. So as I mentioned, I've got 2 drills that I'm going to go over next that are going to help you to learn to do this if this is something that you struggle with. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to get 2 alignment sticks, and you're going to put one in the ground right in front of you, and the other one you're going to take and you're going to put it right across your shoulders, right across your chest, and you're going to get into your golf posture. And what we're going to do, and this is for the backswing, I'm going to try and touch this alignment stick as low as I can with the alignment stick that's across my chest. Now, one thing you can do to make this easier is you can go ahead and scoot that alignment stick so it's longer on my lead shoulder side. So for me as a lefty, I'm going to have it longer off my right shoulder. If you were right-handed, you'd have it a little longer off your left shoulder, and you'd be going more this way. But what I'm working on is I'm working on touching that alignment stick as low as I possibly can. So you can see I'm kind of just under the label that's printed on this alignment stick. So I get a good feel for that. Now the next thing I'm going to do, so that helps me with my backswing. Okay, I can feel the lead shoulders getting lower, but we said that's only half the battle. We watch tour players and their lead shoulder gets even lower on the downswing. So how are we going to address that? So now what I'm going to have you do is just stand upright. Again, I've got the longer end off my lead shoulder. Go to the top of your backswing. Okay, notice I went over the alignment stick that's on the ground here, or stuck in the ground, and get into your posture. And now my goal is I know I was touching at the bottom of that label. I'm going to actually try and touch underneath. So notice as I do that, what am I doing? Let's go back to the conversation we had in the opening. I'm getting my lead knee lower. I'm lowering this lead hip, and that's helping me to touch it lower. So we've all seen, we've heard, it was actually a problem with Tiger. He would actually squat too much in the downswing. Sam Snead, you'd see that little squat. This is really all that it's teaching. And whole nother topic, and I'll shoot a video about it, but we see people who early extend or they stand up through impact. This would be great to, instead of coming up into impact, learning to go down into impact. So again, just to walk you through it, and then I'll do it from the down the line view. So I just go to the top of my backswing, I get into my tilt or my posture, and then in the downswing I'm just touching. Notice how I'm squatting. My lead knee is bending more, my hip is working towards the ground, and it helps me to hit lower on the alignment stick. All right, so now down the line view. Okay, we'll start with, again, I've got the longer end off my lead shoulder, my right shoulder, and I'm just doing backswing, and as you can see, almost every time I'm touching right beneath that white label. And now I'm going to work on the downswing. Okay, so I go to the top of my backswing, I get it the proper tilt of what I would have at the top of my backswing, and now I'm working on creating that downswing move and touching lower on the alignment stick. So that's helped a ton. I've got a fantastic feel for that. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to put it into practice. So I've created my feel. I'm going to grab my golf club. I'm going to rehearse it once or twice, okay? And I can use my golf club. Okay, I'm just going to feel that same movement in the backswing, and I'm going to feel that same movement in the downswing. I'm going to set up this golf ball. I'm going to make a practice swing, feeling that lead shoulder get lower, and then even lower on the downswing. And then I'm going to do my best to make it happen in this golf swing. All right, so I promised 2 drills. We went over one that we can do. And here's a second drill. And the reason I like this drill, and it's going to be very similar to what we did in the first drill, the only difference is I'm on a down slope. So you can see the slope of the hill here. And this is going to help me to feel that right side getting lower, that little squat that I was talking about creating to start your downswing. The downslope and gravity really is going to aid us in doing that. So we're going to run through the same thing again. I've got my stick set up here in the ground. I've got the other one across my shoulders. Remember, the longer end is going to be off my right shoulder. I go ahead and I take my backswing, and you can see, as always, I'm just a little bit behind that white label. So I just get a feel for that. And the hill and my right foot being under my left foot makes it a lot easier to feel, kind of exaggerates that feel, which we know when we fix something in golf, we've got to exaggerate it. We've got to take it completely the other way. So again, I practice that backswing. After I've got a feel for that a few times, I'm going to go to the top of my backswing, and I'm going to start practicing the downswing, and this is where it really helps. This is where I can really feel everything getting lower, gravity kind of assisting me to get really low on that alignment stick. And it's great because we're really killing 2 birds with 1 stone here. Everybody struggles off a downhill lie. This will teach you to get better at those downhill lies, I promise. Okay, so I've done it with my stick, my 2 alignment sticks. I've got a good feel for that. And I can leave this alignment stick up. I don't even need to take it down. And I can rehearse it a couple times with my golf club again. Just getting that feel. Top of the backswing, work on the downswing, getting low on the downswing. And now I'm going to step back away. I'm going to take this down so it's easier for you to see. But you can leave it up and just keep going back and forth. I'm going to feel the same thing again on the backswing. Then I'm going to get a couple downswing feels. And when it's in there, I have a good feel for it. I'm going to go ahead and hit the shot. So 2 efficient drills using a couple alignment sticks, using your golf club, and we're just trying to change the motor pattern. So now you understand how golf professionals, touring professionals, the people we watch on TV every week, use their lead shoulder to hit a golf ball solid, to create compression, and then what amateurs do, or the everyday player, and you've got 2 effective drills that are going to get you closer to what the people who play golf for a living do and what the everyday golfer does. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. I have 2 more here right now that I promise will continue to help you improve your game. And remember, please like, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and comment.